Yo, what's up, it's Dark Horse. I'm doing well, welcome. We're going to be going over the Yubel deck coming obviously to Master Duel very soon. Obviously, I believe it drops tomorrow. I have obviously been playing for the last 4 and a bit hours, testing and seeing what cards we could potentially run together to make a decent deck build that is very consistent. In terms of Master Duel, obviously there are cards you can use in Master Duel and not in Omega. So obviously we'll get some replays up on the screen for you all to watch. And let's get into this. So basically, we're going to start off with obviously the deck profile. I run one Terra Incarnate. Oh, not Terra Incarnate. That's that one. We run the Ultimate Nightmare, Terra Incarnate. We run 2 Spirit of Yubel, 2 Yubel, 1 Unchained Soul, 1 Unchained Soul of Disaster, 1 Unchained Soul of Shavara, 1 Shayama. We have Aruha, Rakea, Sarama, Triple Ash, double Dark Beckoning Beast, 3 of Squirmer, 3 of Lotus, 2 Abomination Prison, double Super Poly, because when we get to the trap, I'll explain that. We also have Mature Chronicle, which we run at 1, triple Nightmare Pain, double Opening of the Spirit Gates, triple Nightmare Throne. You need Nightmare Throne. I advise running it at 3. You potentially could add some Nibiru's in here if you really wanted to, but personally, I feel like it's pretty solid in itself. We beat some really good decks with it. We have the Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. We have Escape of the Unchained at 1 as well. Double Infinite Impermanence and Eternal's Favorite. You could run Maxi, obviously with Master Duel being obviously where you can run it. So you could potentially add it and brand it up to a 45 card deck. Or condense some cards down if you don't feel like you're going to use them. But experiment with it. See what you think. Anyway, we also have Yubel the Loving Defender Forever. We have Phantom of Yubel. I do not know if this is actually coming in the Yubel set when it comes to Master Duel tomorrow. If Phantom of Yubel does not come to Master Duel, do not build this deck because it is so reliant to get Phantom of Yubel. It helps out get rid of those high level monsters and also puts them into the graveyard to benefit you. Also, Phantom of Yubel is very effective when you get it with the Ash Blossom and the Infinite Impermanence because 1, Phantom of Yubel can basically turn the monster's effect into destroy a Yubel monster, which is solid through and through. If you want a clear review, I popped it up on screen. So basically, my big head's in the way, so I apologize. So when your opponent activates a monster's effect, quick effect, you contribute this card. The activated effect becomes your opponent destroys one Yubel monster in their hand, deck, or field. So it's solid. It's a solid play. You can obviously play off into that effect to be able to destroy Yubel to bring out Terra Incarnate. We also have Starving Venom, Garura, and Madragon. Initially, I didn't run Garura, but I'm advising to run Garura just in case you're playing up against anything, obviously, of the same attribute and type. It's very effective, and also if you're running Super Poly, it makes sense to run it because it's one of those ace in the hole type cards. I also have Typhon. We know this is coming to Master Duel alongside DD Wave, High King Caesar. You don't necessarily need to run this, but I only run it because we have Shyama and Shavara. I would advise, I don't know yet, I would advise running Dreadnought because when you get 2 level 10s and nobody's summoning monsters or whatever, you can go into it and burn for 2000 damage. Potentially I'm looking into do that. We also have Abomination Unchained, Access Code, Soul of Anguish, Yama, Soul of Rage, and SP Little Knight. You could make some adjustments in terms of this build and drop out some cards to throw some other ones in, but if you're unfamiliar with the Dreadnought card I'm talking about, you want to go for this big boy because he is able to provide, when it actually lets me load him up in a bigger version. There we go. He is able to provide, so you can detach 1 material from this card and inflict 2000 damage to your opponent. It's very solid through and through. The great thing about bringing out Terra Incarnate, basically board wipe. If you get the trap card out, you can trigger the effect special summon a Yubel with the Discard card, use the Yubel on field, and fuse with everyone's monsters to bring out your boss monster, Yubel the Loving Defender Forever. Super Poly, obviously self-explanatory. You're very familiar with that. Obviously, you've got these as options. You can also go into Yubel if Yubel was on the board with their effect monsters. You also want to start with some Sarah de Lotus if you can get it in your starting hand. Normal, summon it, tribute. We'll get into it anyway and I'll explain. I'll go over the replays. But yeah, I do want to add that in. I just don't know what we're likely to drop. I'll drop DD King and I'll run like that, yeah. Let's save. You could run its upgraded state, which does help because you're able to increase your monster's attack. So it gains 2000 attack and defense, but To be honest, if you're going to burn them, you're probably not going to have to worry too much about that. Let's go over our replays. Okay, so obviously I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega before in my life, so obviously it's been a new experience for me to learn the controls and things like that. We do have a few replays to go over. This was me experiencing what it was like to run Yubel and obviously learning the step-by-step. So in this situation, now, from playing a lot, obviously people are going to go crazy with Viking, Snake Eyes. Master Duel is pretty much drowned in them at the moment. But if you do get a hand similar to this, you want to go with the Dark Beckoning normal summon because, one, it guarantees you an extra normal summon. You can special summon Squirmer. Okay. Can you pause? I don't think you can pause. Okay, never mind then. So we're going to activate, obviously, this spell card. What does this do? Okay. Okay, so you pause it through that. Okay, sweet. If you start with Opening of the Spirit Gates, use that to bait out the Ash before you even activate Nightmare Throne. I swear to you, it is the best combo and play you would do because you don't really need the cards you're going to add off the Opening of the Spirit Gates, but Nightmare Throne benefits so much because you can take a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense and either add it to your hand or destroy it. So if you wanted to, you could destroy your Yubel straight to the graveyard, special summon Terror Incarnate, or you can add Yubel to your hand. It really is up to you. But yeah, it's very effective. Dark Beckoning allows you to get an extra normal summon, so potentially look into doing that. Because you would normal summon that, bring out Lotus, and then if you have Squirmer, you can special summon Squirmer from the hand, giving you extra materials to go into Yama, be able to add Shavara, destroy your Yubel, special summon, or destroy your Terror Incarnate. But yeah. Okay, so Yubel comes out, activate Abomination's Prison. We've gone Shavara. Shavara will target the Yubel. Yubel's effects triggers, triggering off the spell card, special summon Terror Incarnate. Activate that. Special summon the Yubel by banishing itself, and then we activated our trap. Well, we didn't activate our trap, we set our trap. So basically what you would do here is you've got your trap here, you've got your Yubel, activate the trap, and then by discarding a card, if you control Yubel, discard one card and send this face-up card to the grave. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as material, including Yubel monster. Basically, it's the trap super polymerization, which will allow you to bring out this fucking Donny. And you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each material used. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from attacks from battles involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, if it damage your opponent equal to the opponent's monster's attack, and if you do banish that monster. Very sick. But yeah. Alright. So with this, my advice as well, obviously you guys probably want to see the replay, but I'm just trying to give points as we're going through it. You want to get Phantom of Yubel out as soon as possible, solely for the fact that you will probably face a lot of Nibiru's now. Obviously, Snake Eyes obviously benefit off Nibiru anyway, but just don't risk it. Phantom of Yubel will benefit because when they go to activate their Nibiru, you can trigger the Phantom of Yubel's effect like we spoke about before, and turn it to tribute this card, and activate effect becomes your opponent destroys a Yubel monster. So then again, you can destroy Spirit of Yubel or Yubel. So now we've played into the Yama. There we go. Destroyed the trap. Aruha. Anguish comes out. Played into Unchained Abomination off the opponent's monster. That allows us to bring out Terror Incarnate and Nightmare. And then Anguish comes out. And the person surrendered. Basically, it's just... you don't necessarily need to do it that way. But it is very, very effective. Okay. In this duel, I played up against Fiendish. I will shut up during this one. So, yeah. I can't necessarily shut up because I kind of need to talk my way through it. But yeah. So, they're basically dominating the board with their Tearlament combos and cards and things like that. Which is to be expected when you're playing up against Tearlaments. They went into the XZ. They went into the play. Fiendish is... it's interesting. Obviously, I've never experienced it before until I started playing this today. I think I've had about 4 hours time playing this. But I keep calling it Fiendish. It's Fiendsmith. So they brought out Fiendsmith Engraver. But the good thing about our hand here is the fact that we can trigger off our spell card. Normal summon. Go into Typhon. My advice, if you are going to be playing Master Duel, craft Typhon if you do not pack it. Because it is very effective in itself. Because once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, return one monster from the field to the hand. Very good, unless you're playing up against like Baron or there's some sort of like Omni Negate for it. Okay. Attack for 2900. We've got Super Poly, which if you need be, and also we've got Escape of the Unchained. The reason I kept Solar Disaster, because if we need to, we can special summon it off of our trap card. So we waited for them to play their cards and their combos, and what they did is they led into it. And this is why I advise running Garura, because Garura will be able to take them based on the same attribute and type, which resulted in them rage quitting. Then we have got, this was, I believe this was Voice. But yeah. So the Ash Blossom negating the spell card, set 2 traps and, well, 2 cards and pass. Like I said before, activate opening of the Spirit Gates to bait out any sort of Ash, and as you can see, they've already activated the Ash. So in theory, if we did have the Throne card, we can actually activate the field spell and be able to add or destroy Yubel without it being ashed. So while they were activating that, we ashed them. Lotus came out. Tribute the Locust, bring out Spirit of Yubel. Spirit of Yubel's effect activated apart from the Infinite Impermanence hit, so be cautious of that. My dumbass played it in the same Infinite Impermanence lane. But the good thing is we don't have to worry too much because we were able to bring out Phantom of Yubel. The great thing about this card, obviously like I spoke about before, you can literally use them from hand, field, or graveyard. So unless we get it, Yubel's going to be pretty shit, which I'm going to be gutted about because I'm actually really enjoying this deck build. Okay, so now we were good because if we wanted to, like now, a monster effect is now activated, yeah? We tributed it off, destroyed the Yubel. Yubel triggers, special summons the Terror Incarnate. Now we have Super Poly again. We can activate this, discard a card, special summon. I've gone into Yama, added Sarama, normal summon Sarama, trigger, set a card, and then destroy it. Well, in theory, you could have destroyed a back row card, but I didn't bother. But then you can now go to the extra deck and special summon once more, and then lead into Soul of Rage. Is it insane how many people rage quit? I never realized how many how many duels people just kind of bailed out. But yeah. I don't know what this duel consisted of. I don't know which one this was. Oh, this was the snake. Okay, this is the one where I kind of misplayed late game, but it was very, very, very engaging. Right. Here. Learn from my error, yeah? I would have had a Terror Incarnate on the field. I activated the field spell before I activated the Spirit Gates, and it cost me because they had Ash. So just always activate Spirit Gates. Always. First. So then we've got Dark Beckoning, normal summon Dark Beckoning, trigger the effect. We get to go with Lotus now. Trigger Lotus, tribute, bring out Yubel. Yubel's effect activates. We add the spell card, activate the Pain. Trigger, destroy, well, yeah, destroy the Spirit Yubel. Damn, guys, this is going very fast for me. But yeah, you destroy the Spirit of Yubel, activate, bring out the Squirmer. Terror Incarnate now comes out. And then basically, yet again, once more, just in case of Nibiru, I brought out Phantom of Yubel. And then we brought out Yama. Yama will now give me a Ruha. A Ruha can now trigger, destroy the Terror Incarnate, special summon itself. And then we can bring out Nightmare. So as you can see, destroyed it, triggered the effect Terror Incarnate, brought out the Ultimate Nightmare. Squirmer, special summon Lotus, go into Soul of Rage, activate spell, bring out. Super Poly's there if I needed it, but we didn't. The problem is, in the next turn, I got a little overconfident. I could have played off Super Poly, but I kind of allowed it. We had Ash. It's a good job we didn't, because the Ash helped us against the bonfire. They attacked, destroyed. Yama, special summoned. And there's our trap card. My stupid ass should have activated the trap, had a 1 card in hand. We were obviously bringing Yubel to the field again due to the effect, and then fused off of the Poplar and then went for game. But I decided to go crazy on the Link summoning, just experimenting with different plays, and made a very bad mistake. Yes, into Anguish, into Unchained Abomination, and basically brought that out into access code. Very stupid play. Very, very, very stupid play, because this person had, you know, luck on their side. Guess what they pulled? Snake Eyes Ash. Triggering off Snake Eyes Ash, being able to add Poplar, trigger Poplar. Poplar allows them to add the Sinful? But yeah. And then Oak comes out, special summons Ash, Poplar, Flamberge, trigger the effect, pushes the Abomination back, remove, adds the spell card, activates the spell card, field spell, destroys Garunix, Garunix comes to field. Yeah, it's a long one. You'll learn as you play, trust me. You will learn to come to experience these type of builds. But yeah, And I just got very reckless. And this is my point. If you have double Yubel, this is one of the reasons why I advise running Dreadnought, because you could have went to the XE summon, detach, pop for 2,000 instead of having to focus on them attacking. The main one you want out is Ultimate Nightmare, because that is the one that can attack and deal the damage while attacking the opponent's monster. So we triggered, brought out Terror Incarnate, Rakea gave a Soul of Disaster. The problem is I had no Unchained monsters, so I have to be cautious about that. The good thing is, if you are able to get Terror Incarnate out, you know for a fact that the end phase it destroys all other monsters on the field, so it's really good on its own. But you don't want to be in that position ever. But yeah, I made an absolute stinker. I did. Like, there's an occasion where you play into Lotus, you can trigger off the Yubel, and you go to trigger a card, obviously effect. But I removed my Unchained Abomination because I'm still adjusting to Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. Obviously, in Master Duel, it would be different because it's a lot more simplistic. But yeah. Then you can activate the trap. What you want to do is, if you do activate the trap where you go with Lotus, add Lotus back to the hand, because the trap card will be able to discard the Lotus with the Yubel and fuse off all of them. And you would have inflicted 2,000 damage anyway. So it's really good. But yeah. This is what I'm going to be doing from now on. So any new sets that come to the game, I'm going to be doing one big video of, obviously, reviews and duel replays and things like that of me experimenting and experiencing new deck builds. So obviously, you guys enjoy it, please obviously like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. Help me, obviously, on this YouTube grind of a journey. But yeah, Dibellus come out. They just kind of accepted their fate here. They tried playing around it, but they knew that they couldn't do much because of the fact if they ended their turn, I would have triggered this and dropped the card and just fused off the whole field. But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what these other duel replays are. Unless it saves all replays anyway. Okay, so I experienced Tempai for the first time. I don't think this was the one that was the first time, but it is crazy. Some of the most craziest combos and stuff like that. You know, unfortunately the Effect Veiler screwed me over for my card. The Ash Blossom negated the Yubel, obviously being destroyed to special summon. A Heretic popped back my Lotus. I'm just like, bro, give me a chance. But yeah, but once more, I think this is before, yeah, this is before I added Garura. I had my extra deck. I didn't run Garura. It was a big mistake because if we had, we could have played off, obviously, both Tempais to bring out Garura off the Super Poly. Run Garura. And then basically from this point onwards, they pretty much took me for game because they could trigger the effect, special summon, activate the effect, special summon, trigger the effect, synchro summon. So they get triple attack off and a synchro summon, and then basically I surrendered, yeah. But anyway, ladies and gents, if you enjoyed this, obviously let me know what I can do to improve, what I can do to make better, or, you know, it'd be greatly appreciated because obviously this is the kind of stuff I want to be looking at doing. If you are interested in the deck build, I will obviously leave it up for a bit. Obviously, this is the deck build we have. You can just kind of shuffle it back, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know how you obviously manage to deal with it. But yeah, there's obviously going to be better decks out there, but for me, this works perfectly for me. You know, each to their own, they adjust to certain things. But thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.